Yeah.
Excellent. Welcome to the first annual reading of Marvel Masterpiece Theater.
Who's an Avengers fan out there? Yeah. You guys like it old school? It's very dark on stage and I am blind. That looks better.
Yeah. Can you?
Maybe I can, okay, I'll just get my little Bigfoot flashlight out.
He was going to put him.
I'm gonna stand.
Because he thinks he's better than us.
I was told I was gonna stand.
Who told you? Did you tell yourself that you were going to stand?
Yeah. This, Jan, do you want to do a little intro about what this is?
So thank you for coming.
Oh, I guess we should mute. Everyone should mute their phones.
Yeah,
Even
that's
me.
Or at least on vibrate.
Thanks for coming. About 2 months ago, I was reading about a dramatic read-through of the movie The Big Lebowski by director Jason Reitman. And he had Patton Oswalt, Hank Azaria, and a couple of other actors in a theater reading the Big Lebowski screenplay as a stage production, but not a play. And I thought, what an awesome idea. I want to see that. And I found out that it was like 4 years ago that it happened. But then I started thinking that...
So then he built a time machine, and he went back in time and he saw it.
And it was great. I'd like to go back. I have to build another time machine. The first one is broken. But it gave me the idea that, you know, we have enough talent pool in the comics community, especially the comic book convention, that we could do something like this ourselves. So I thought we should pick some
That mic is going to go out periodically whenever they make an announcement.
Oh, there's another mic. Use the
Is it going to come back on?
Oh, all the mics. Oh.
All the mics are off now?
Oh. So the dramatic pauses will be because announcements here. Why did it come
How
in
do we get them to come back on?
Wait for the announcement to
Whenever
be
they
over.
finish the announcement.
Oh, there's actually, okay, the announcement's over. We can't
Okay,
hear it.
good.
Okay, I get it.
Be nice if we could hear you.
Okay, so I thought, well, we need to find some material, and it seemed that a classic Marvel comic from, like, say, the 70s or 60s that has that gravitas and bombastic nature would be perfect, and something that most of us can relate to. And if you can't relate to, because you're more of a newcomer to comics, then this stuff is an introduction to, I think, what a lot of us see as our roots in comics. I know that when I first read these stories, I was probably 8 or 10 years old, and they were already back in the 60s when I was in the 70s reading them, and they still you know, grab me. So I put together this group of people who are very talented and very excited to do this for you tonight. So thanks for coming.
I'm more excited than talented.
I second that.
I believe Damien is more talented than excited.
Thank you.
Should we introduce ourselves, or
Sure.
just briefly? Colin?
I'm Colin Mahan, comedian, voice guy, friend of
Yay.
Dan.
I'm Damien Poitier, best known for standing up, turning around, and smiling. But I've been in quite a few things you like, and you'll be seeing more of me.
If anyone has seen the film Avengers, Damien has a cameo. He happens to be Thanos in the Avengers, so I'm pretty proud to have him on stage with us.
He's legit.
And he's been in a lot of other stuff too, so he's all over the place, and his star is rising as we speak.
I'm Liam Sharp. I'm a writer and artist and a sort of digital innovator with Madefire.
You should work on your voice. You sound like a girl.
It's not the first time I've heard that.
I'm Jane Weedland. I'm a musician. I'm in the band The Go-Go's. I'm also a comic book writer, and I just completed my first musical that I wrote the script and songs for, which is based on my comic book, Lady Robotica, coming to a live theater near you soon, I hope.
Also, she was punk rock before any of you were punk rock, so don't even front.
Because I'm older than everybody, and that.
That's not what I meant.
I'm Amanda Dibert. I'm a writer and an actor.
I'm Dan Burton. I'm a comic book artist and writer, and this is something that's, I'm very excited. Like last night during the rehearsal, I said, this is like a dream come true. I didn't really mean to say that out loud, but I did it that way.
No pressure.
He just kept saying it on a loop again and again. It's irritatingly.
And then he took his pants off and we all left the room.
Most of us.
It was my room as well.
Not everybody left the room.
No, my 8-year-old son was asleep in the bed.
This is getting weird. All right, let's start.
All right, let's do it.
Greetings, true believers. The Big Wow Comic Fest is proud to present the Cosmic Fantasy Masterpiece Theater presentation of the 1968 Marvel Comics classic story arc, Avengers number 59. His name is Yellow Jacket. And Avengers number 60, Till Death Do Us Part.
Written by Master Comic Scribe Rascally Roy Thomas and drawn by Marveldom's most amazing artist, Big John Buscema. This two-part masterwork was produced under the expert guidance of then editor Stan the Man Lee himself over 4 decades ago.
Now, travel back through time with us to the year 1968. It is a year of unrest and social change. Lyndon B. Johnson is still in the White House as the war in Vietnam continues to escalate.
2001: A Space Odyssey opens in theaters. The Beatles form Apple Records.
It is the year that marks the climax of the Civil Rights Movement, the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy, and the rise of the Black Panthers and the future president, Richard M. Nixon.
The musical Hair opens. Elvis Presley films his comeback special.
1968 witnesses the launch of Apollo missions 6, 7, and 8, as well as the first victims of the Zodiac Killer.
And also actor Will Smith is born.
And me, as it happens.
And somewhere on the Isle of Manhattan, the city of New York has a new superhero. Night brings out the best in some men and the worst in others.
Move it, Charlie. I didn't pay off the watchman so you could sleepwalk through this job.
I'm working as fast as I can, Big Eddie. Believe me, I'm as eager to get these skins to fence as you. The sooner we do, the sooner I can hot-foot it over to the state pen, pigeon. Huh? Who said that?
Hold it. Up there on top of the warehouse. Who in the ever-bugging world?
The name is Yellow Jacket. And since I haven't had any calling cards made up just yet, here's something else to remember me by. Swack!
Look, that Dudley Do-Right just clobbered Big Eddie.
What do we care, as long as it wasn't us?
Have you flipped, Rocky? He was the one who's gonna pay us.
Hey, that's right. We gotta pull the rescue bit fast.
Okay, Mr. Yellow Belly, end of the line. Maybe you're a new superhero, but you're never gonna be an old one.
You know, it's just possible that you're right. But somehow, I don't think so. Here, chumps, grab a taste of my Yellow Jacket stingers. The mint juleps will have to wait, though, till Visitor's Day.
Ow! He blasted the rods right out of our hands! It's every man for himself!
Too bad you said that, Weepin' Willie. Cause that just means your pal's gonna cut out on his own, if he can.
He ain't just whistling Flight of the Bumblebee. Now wait a minute, I forgot. I don't know how to drive.
I hear they have driver's ed in the big house, friend. Just tell them Yellow Jacket sent ya. Yes, sir, Captain, that's the only name he gave us. Says maybe we never heard of him before, but we will again. And I'm not going to be the one to bet against it. He let out 3 armed hoods with his bare knucks.
You realize, of course, that you're a material witness. We'll need you to testify after their trial.
The witness stand is for stoolies, Clyde. I play cops and robbers. Let someone else play judge and jury.
And now a word from our sponsor.
80,000 candle power from only 6 standard flashlight batteries and a 3-cell light. Skin timers, underwater beam lights, tremendous power on land.
Beam lights.
Fire and police use and recommend beam lights.
Shines a mile.
No fish can resist Spanish fly bait oil. Ancient formula, now legal for fishermen.
And now back to the Avengers. So long. Just make sure the papers spell my name right. One word and no hyphen. Here?
Wait, masked man! He's sleeping off, and I still don't know whether I'd rather shake that hand, Glory Hound's hand, or punch his kisser.
Yellow Jacket? Now there's my kind of superhero.
Why so hot on this underwear boy, Mr. Jameson?
Give a guy like that half a chance, and he'll mop up this town with a bum like Spider-Man.
Could it be because you're half interested in the farrier, could it?
Nonsense, boys. I'm just a public-spirited citizen. And besides,
he's selling a truckload of papers. Hey, JJ?
Why you? What do those drugstore cowboys know about real men of action? And besides, he is selling a truckload of papers. He'd sell even more, though, if Peter Parker had been on the spot to get some candid shots. When there's work to be done, his generation's always out on a coffee break.
Yellow Jackets, Wasp, Ant-Man, Black Widow. Some days I wish I'd been bitten by a radioactive water buffalo.
Oh, that voice! If I'd know those mocking tones anywhere! You! Get off of my flagpole, you wall-crawling webhead!
Your flagpole, Jameson? Sorry, laughing boy, but it's their city property. Municipal bylaws, page 351, paragraph 17. Need I add that I looked that up? Still, if you're gonna be a spoilsport about it, I'll go, but don't walk down any dark alleyways on Halloween.
I'll walk anywhere I want, web-spinning weasel. Though it just so happens I'll be out of town on Halloween.
But now, before everybody forget whose mag this is...
All right, Avenger. Hit it.
You called it, T'Challa. Just try dodging my new boomerang special.
I can narrowly evade it, friend, Hawkeye, but normal criminals scarcely as agile as the Black Panther.
End of session, Jungle Man. A swinging female-type stranger just entered our humble abode. Oops, sorry about that, Waspy. Didn't recognize you with that Hulk and Hank tower over you.
You mean he isn't here yet? But he knew there was a meeting this morning.
Yes, of that there is no doubt. He informed me he'd be here early to discuss something with me in private.
Perhaps we should go to look for him.
You done?
I'm sorry. That's, who's that? Is that me?
Eric? Okay.
Oh, shit. You don't know old man Mountain very well, Vision. Believe me, a guy 10 feet tall can take care of himself.
In that case, let your newest member make a more practical suggestion. That we begin our meeting without him and bring him up to date when he arrives.
Now you're talking, Bright Eyes. Me, I want to watch the World Series this afternoon.
But before the four Avengers start the session, four minds dwell on far more serious matters.
Strange. I keep thinking of when I saw Hank last night, working late on another one of his innumerable projects. Henry Pym, will you stop trying to invent the 25-hour day? It's after 10! But there still must be a coffee shop around here open somewhere that you can take a girl to.
No can do, honey. I'm testing that miniature solar battery to see how much energy it soaked up today. But tell you what, have an extra cup of Java for me, huh?
Meanwhile, a genial gent named Jarvis is engaged in somewhat more plebeian activities.
And another one as shiny as new. Just 2 more, and I can get back to my regular butlering duties.
I've got news for you, chum. You're taking the day off. Though maybe I'll come back and untie you later, after I've hashed out a few things with your avenging employers.
We can wait no longer. This delay is intolerable.
Target sees one of Hank Pym's outstanding characteristics, traits, Vision. It's my bet he's on his way here right now.
Save your shekels, Tabby. You'd lose.
What?
Owen! The name, as I keep telling people, is Yellow Jacket. If you missed my write-up in the Daily Bugle, I'll drag out my press clippings. And since you're obviously wondering why I flitted by, I came to sign up. What else?
We read of your exploits last night, my friend. but we accept memberships only on recommendation.
The Panther's got his Sunday manners, pal, but not Hawkeye. So you put the bite on 3 small-time punks. So what? And what makes you think that Hank won't show?
I don't think. I know. Because I'm the guy that polished him off.
No! No! He can't mean what he just said. He can't! And yet, something in his voice tells me that... Ah!
Jan,
She's fainted under the strain of Hank's recent work, plus our visitor's cryptic words.
but speaking of those words, let him clarify them before we force the truth from his lips.
Ha! Do you think I'm afraid of any of you? Still, I'll tell you what you want to know, and why you should beg me to join your little combo.
Yak away, Charlie. It's been a while since I heard a good fairy tale.
If it is a fairy tale, Bowman,
Begins Yellow Jacket.
then it is one which does not end happily for everyone. It began late last night. Here's a forgotten shaft into Goliath's renovated suburban HQ, but I seem to have arrived just in time to listen in on Paul Bunyan's soliloquy.
How I want to marry Jan. Be more than the kind of man she wants. But I can't. Not while there are so many secrets left to unlock. So much that man does not know.
And the first thing he should know, Avenger, is never to stand under a loose grating. But what do you expect from a giant who talks to himself? Ka-chunk!
That sound above me. What?
Lucky for me he wasn't giant-sized just now. Otherwise that grating might not have taken him out. And I've got plans for handsome Hank Pym. Big plans.
Speaking of big plans, little man, I've got 1 or 2 myself for you.
Yow! He's awake and growing like a house on fire. I can't carry him.
Then let me carry you, fella. All the way down to the precinct station.
You'll bring this whole crummy lab down around your ears, you overrated clown, before you bring in Yellow Jacket.
Yellow Jacket? That's a pretty fancy name for a guy who seems to specialize in sneak attacks. And now, since I've got you, tell me why you're here before...
Whoa, my, what big hands you've got, Grandma. The better for me to do this.
My eyes! That light from his fingertips, it's blinding!
Crack!
Got to shoot to full height, gain time to think!
Sticking your oversized head in the clouds won't help, Paul Bunyan. Come down here and fight it out, man to man.
Still can't see! My only hope is to get out in the open!
Yeah, it's a giant Goliath busting out of that building. It's getting so you need double indemnity just to take a stroll through this town.
But wherever the blinded, blundering behemoth lumbered, Yellow Jacket followed.
Face it, Lummox, you've had it. Even your frame can't take any more of my stingers. Zat!
If only you weren't right, you devil. Can't fight an opponent I can't see. Can't even concentrate enough to shrink in size, become Ant-Man. Then it might at least stand a fighting chance. Or if I could summon the Avengers. But no, in some way I don't understand. This is my battle. Must win or lose it on my own.
Noble sentiments, Bigwig. But the fact is, you've already tossed in the towel and you don't even know it. The winner and new insect-powered champ is Yellow Jacket. But since you seem to want to shrink so bad, here's where you do just that. For good.
Some sort of gas. I can feel myself growing smaller. Smaller!
And that's just what happened. With me as the only witness. First he became the size of a normal man, then of a small, cringing dog, a gasping rodent, and a groveling insect.
Nothing I can do to halt the process. Where will it stop? Where?
Here's your answer, fool. This is the way your world ends. Not in high-flown battle with some power-craving supervillain, but among these rotting timbers, at the hands of a creature you once could have controlled.
That spider, it doesn't obey my mental commands. Only one chance. Got to run. Run!
That was the last I saw of Henry Pym. But I can well imagine the denouement. A fitting end to one who was constantly growing too big for his tight-fitting britches.
His Goliath is dead. You are his killer. And you dare to ask to become an Avenger?
Never, not while the vision lives.
But, Hank, how can we learn if he's telling the truth about what happened? We must question him. Make him tell us.
There's just one type of questioning that his kind understands, lady. And this is it! Wow!
Oh, that hurt! But you should stick to your arrows, Robin Hood, because you've got no superpowers to protect you from the Vision?
Have you forgotten the Avengers are a team, and I have such powers?
Just give you one more crack at him. Just one!
That's hardly necessary, Hawkeye. Not while the Black Panther stands ready to strike a blow for justice. I didn't hit him hard enough. He's still conscious. And now...
I see you're discovering the cold, hard facts of life, Alley Cat. Namely, that a fellow would hardly take the name Yellow Jacket unless he commanded an army of same.
These wasps can't sting me through my protective costume, but they might harm Jan and Hawkeye. Must guide them away. Let my fellow Avengers handle Yellow Jacket.
But even as the besieged Black Panther beats the strategical withdrawal.
Uh-oh, time for my grandstand play.
No bothersome insects will stay the Vision's hand, villain. And now...
And now, I'll resort to a plain old-fashioned pistol. Of course, you may be immune to a bullet synthesoid, but not so the Wasp.
What? Let go!
Not a chance, sweetheart. In fact, just to make sure you don't shrink down to bug size.
I'm warning you, Crumb, if you've heard that girl.
I just touched a little nerve in her neck, Sir Galahad, and she was out like a light. Still, I'm taking her bye-bye for a while. And in case you think it's so you'll think twice about me becoming an Avenger, well, who am I to argue with you?
He's leaping away like a blamed grasshopper. If I shot him now, Jan might get hurt. And that beelining bum knows it.
And now, let us skip ahead in time and many miles in place to a most singular retreat.
You may have removed my wrist stings and made certain I can't contact the others, but that won't help you impress the Avengers into letting them join them.
I can tell you're impressed, though, doll. At my Hornet's Nest hideaway, it cost me plenty.
Nothing about you impresses me, mister. Least of all, now that I think about it, your wild-eyed tale about Hank. If you had harmed him, you wouldn't have told us about it.
Why not? Since your avenging buddies know they can't prosecute me without corpus delicti. And they'll never locate one that's just a fraction of an inch tall. That's how clever I am.
Then you did mean it. You haven't just imprisoned him somewhere. Tell me where he is before I...
Try to slap me, will ya? I ought to paste you one for that, beautiful. But instead, I think I'll do this.
No! Stop! Let me go, you murdering...
Can't hear a word you're saying, sweetheart. Besides, I've got other ways of knowing what you're really thinking. And from here, the signal reads all clear.
Then, just as suddenly.
I'm sorry, doll. I don't know what came over me. Don't need you as hostage anymore. May as well let you go.
Yes, of course. But somehow, now I don't want him to.
Not long afterward, a sleek aerocraft slices through the skies above upstate New York.
My every instinct cries, beware, my friends. Why should the Wasp's inactive homing device suddenly begin to send more signals?
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth, T'Challa.